The evening was planned to perfection. Candles glowed softly on the table. The scent of roasted lamb drifted through the room, and gentle music lingered in the background. She smiled at her lover across the table, convinced this would be a night of romance and intimacy, one they both treasure forever. What she never expected was that this dinner would unravel her world, and not only hers, but his and her entire family's. She had dressed carefully for the occasion, slipping into a red gown that clung to her figure, determined to make the night unforgettable. Her lover, the man who had stolen her heart from the life she once knew, held her hand across the table, whispering vows of forever. They raised their glasses, eyes locked, oblivious of the storm already gathering outside their fragile haven. Just as dessert arrived, the doorbell rang. She frowned, surprised, since no one was expected. With a playful grin, she excused herself and went to answer it, but her smile froze the moment the door opened. Her husband stood there, his face pale but his eyes blazing with fury. Behind him stood her brother, and worst of all, her father. Inside, her lover shot to his feet, the calm romance in his face giving way to nervous dread. The room fell into a suffocating silence, the background music suddenly mocking. Her husband walked in without invitation, his voice low but steady. "So this is where you've been spending your nights." Her family followed, their faces carved with shock and disappointment. She tried to speak, but no words would come. Her father's eyes, filled with both pain and rage, pierced deeper than any scream could. He had raised her to be loyal, to honor the family name, and now she stood exposed, branded by betrayal in the most humiliating way possible. Her lover stepped forward, desperate to salvage the moment, insisting theirs was true love. But the words only cut deeper. Her brother's fists clenched, ready to strike, while her husband laughed bitterly. "True love," he spat, "built on lies, shame, and destruction?" The tension grew unbearable. She begged them all to sit down and talk, but her pleas went unheard. Then, from behind them, her mother, who had followed quietly, spoke, her voice trembling. "Do you even understand what you've done? You didn't just betray your husband, you destroyed us all." Her mother's words hit harder than any glare. Her lover, sensing the collapse, leaned in urgently. "Forget them. Let's leave. We can start over somewhere else." But as her gaze swept over the room, her husband's broken expression, her father's fury, her mother's devastation, she knew running wouldn't erase what had already been done. Her husband finally erupted, slamming his fist onto the table and shattering a wine glass. "You've made a fool of me, of this family, of everything we built together," he shouted. Her brother restrained him, but the damage was done. The romantic evening she had envisioned had twisted into a battlefield where loyalty, love, and betrayal collided mercilessly. Tears streamed down her cheeks as she tried to defend herself. "I just wanted to be happy," she whispered, but the words sounded hollow, selfish, cruel. No one believed her. Deep down, not even she did. The truth was undeniable. Her father, his voice like stone, declared she was no longer welcome in his house. Her husband, his tone cold and final, said, "We're finished." Her brother turned away, unable to even look at her. In a single night, she had lost everything: her marriage, her family, her respect. Her lover reached for her hand, but she pulled away. Suddenly, the man who had once seemed like her escape now looked like the reason for her ruin. Love that once felt intoxicating now tasted like poison. Too late, she realized she had gambled everything on him, and the price was far too steep. That dinner, meant to be a memory of romance, had turned into a curse she would never outrun. For her lover, and for her family, it became the start of a pain that would echo for years. And as she sat among the wreckage of her choices, one truth remained certain. This was a nightmare none of them would ever forget.